Hello everyone and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. It is Saturday, May the 4th, 2019, and we are here for our 68th show of 2019 ATP and WTA seasons, and that would be show number 68 in case you're keeping up with whether or not I'm continuing to learn my Espanol.
And what's the tournament that's going on right now?
Well, Madrid just began.
Madrid.
However, there are still a few tournaments that have ongoing finals that are still going on. I think there's 4 of them, actually. I think one is completed. A couple finals are backed up due to some delay from weather over the past week, and we'll get into that shortly. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Give our videos a thumbs up, and if you give us a thumbs down, let us know how we can get better. Carla and I have set ourselves a goal for this year, and that's 2019 ATP and WTA season end, and we hope to meet that goal, and we can only do that with thumbs up and more subscribers. So help us get there, and again, thank you very much for watching. All right, so a few shout-outs to begin this show with. You ready, Carla?
Yes.
Number 1 shout-out for today goes to Dave Raines in Cincinnati and the mighty Ohio State itself. Dave Raines, again, just visited us with his lovely wife and now have gone back home to watch one of their daughters get their master's degree. So congratulations to the Raines family for this wonderful achievement. We can only hope that everything is well. And again, thanks again for coming down this past week to play tennis with us. 3 more quick shout outs. And the next 3 shout outs go to 3 of our students that we teach, and that is the game of tennis too, or at least help within their own respective goals in the game. And that goes to Gabriel, a.k.a. Big Gabe Perkins. Let's go. A big shout out to Alina Day. I think it's actually Danielle Day, but what's going on? And then also to Kara Farni, F-A-R-N-I. All 3 of these students we have had the privilege of instructing for the past couple of weeks, and all of them are playing in a tournament today that is probably under rain delay, I would assume at this point.
I would assume, yes.
If we could spin the camera around that, once again, B-Dog02 got for us, or at least the tripod that it rests on, right outside the back window is another pretty interesting or intense lightning storm. So during this next 45 minutes, we might get some good weather, and if you watch our weather videos, we know all too well that we like weather. And we have that today. Plus tennis, priceless. Let's go. Come on. All right. So look, by the way, to all 3 of the students playing in the tournament today, Gabriel, Alina, a.k.a. Danielle, or Kara, win or lose, doesn't matter. Fight hard, play your best, and ultimately back to the practice court immediately. All right? Again, win or lose, live to fight another day. That's what this game's all about. All right? Carla, let's jump into the show then. Enough about us and what's going on here. I know that Madrid began its first round matches today, at least on the women's side. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I know that there are 4 ongoing tournaments that we need to discuss, the finalists, and maybe even 1 or 2 results from one of the finals, right?
Yes. Well, we do have 4. The first one would be Prague Open, which today was the final. We had a 21-year-old win her first WTA tournament, Jill Teichmann from Switzerland, who defeated Carolina Mutua from Czech Republic. She won in 3 sets. She went into this tournament ranked 146, and now thanks to winning this tournament, she'll be ranked 87. She was actually born in Spain, so I'm guessing maybe she left when she was younger to Switzerland and represents that country now. She's a left-handed player, so good for her. On her way winning this tournament, she had to go through Barbara Strykova, Kuznetsova, and Alexandrova. So those are a few good wins for her.
Getting through, for this young lady that just won this tournament, great research, Carla. The 2 people that you just mentioned that this young lady beat en route to this championship. Kuznetsova, by the way, who won, I think, a first-round match today, and we'll get into that. Kuznetsova is a heck of a player and has been for a very long time. Hasn't Kuznetsova won a major?
She's won quite a few.
Yeah.
I think like 3 or.
So for this young lady to come through and beat Svetlana Kuznetsova is a very big accomplishment for this young lady. So for her, I don't know if this win at this point in this tournament would land her in the Madrid draw.
It does. She's actually received a wild card.
Okay, so good for her. She just came off of
I think so. Or am I mistaken?
And we'll check it out either way. But for a young lady such as this, to come in, to win a tournament, to jump from 100 and change in the world up into 87, that's a big jump for her.
She has not. I was thinking of the guy who's also 19 years old, close to her age, that did receive a wild card.
Yeah.
She has not. No.
And again, neither here nor there, but as we see some of these younger players, or any players for that matter, that win that first trophy, and they finally get the anxiety out of their system. I won one, now I can win another one. It's always tough as a tennis player to think in your mind that I still haven't won my first tournament. It's when you win that first tournament, things tend to change. They can still remain the same. I think that we say in life, the more things change, the more things remain the same. However, in tennis, I think sometimes there is an anxiety about, will I ever win anything? And then when you do, generally, I think everything turns in a more positive direction, right?
Well, she's won like 5 ITF tournaments, but this is her first big tournament, first WTA tournament.
Good win for her. Good win for her. And moving forward, if she's 87 in the world, I think she will make the French main draw or Roland Garros. And if she didn't make Madrid, great. But let's watch out for her.
Yes. The next tournament we had on the women's side was the Morocco Open. Your champion there is Maria Sakkari from Greece, who defeated Johanna Konta from the United Kingdom in 3 sets. Johanna Konta was actually won the first set and up on the second set, serving up a break, and then Sakkari came back and won the match. So this is, I think, her second WTA title. I'm not quite sure. She threw herself on the floor, stayed there for a while. I guess she was embracing winning another WTA title.
My 2 cents, I'm going to weigh on this one real quick. I don't ever like to speak negative about anyone or anything. First of all, let me start on the positive side of this and say, good job for Konta. I don't know if Konta, that I can recall, having ever made a clay court final. I may be wrong there, and again, this is something not written in. Sometimes Carla and I, we start talking and we have all this stuff written and we start going off on these different avenues. It's not that it's not anticipated, but this one really was not anticipated. So let me rewind here for a second. Konta has come off injury. As you know, she's a British player, kind of like the Tim Henman from the men's side. That he never could get it done, but came really close a lot. Konta's like Tim Henman, but on the women's side.
Tim Henman's a lot better though.
Well, Tim Henman also went through a much longer career at this point.
Yes.
I think Tim Henman retired when he was like 343 years old and had Gandalf the Great that used to escort him onto the court, only to be beaten with the likes of Sampras, Agassi, Federer, and the list gets more subpar as we go on. But he made some Wimbledon finals, I think. So we can't doubt Tim Henman.
Finals? No, he made semifinals.
I think, okay, we're not going to debate here, and I may be wrong here. Poll question. I think that Tim Henman made Wimbledon finals and just didn't win it. No. I may be wrong. Again, this isn't written in with the current news.
I know I'm right. He's made semifinals.
Look it up. Did Tim Henman make Wimbledon finals? I think he did and lost. Okay, so Konta made a clay court final, having had basically a year off of tumult, right?
Yes.
So Sakkari, though, on the other hand, again, I don't have a Sakkari personal issue with her.
He reached 6 Wimbledon semifinals.
Never a final?
Never a final.
I ate my words.
I remember that.
Good research.
Everybody was sit on Henman Hill, hoping that he could make it to the final. Never did.
And then we made Murray Mountain, but Murray did did win 2, right? Murray won 2 Wimbledons, right?
Murray, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, Murray won 2 Wimbledons.
Yes.
So, with Sakari though, you all always ask me why is it that I don't like Sakari. It's not that I don't like her. It's the game. Her game is always late. It's always late. Every time it seems like she hits a forehand, it's jumping off the back foot and not following through the shot. In other words, not hitting through the ball. Boom. Okay? She like hits it, and then as she hits it, she falls away and follows through back here. And look, let's be real. Even Rafael Nadal's uncle Tony will tell you that it seems like when Nadal came on the scene that it became cool, or let's try to hit the ball where we meet it and then follow through behind the same side of our head that we made contact with. And the grunting and all the bulljack that comes along with that. But so Sakari hits a forehand like this. Here it comes. She's meeting it out front. But at the last second, she just kind of stops her motion, jerks it around behind her head, and then falls off the back foot doing so. So, in my opinion, Sakari is trying to be Nadal-esque, but is just obviously not Rafael Nadal, even though she's built like Rafael Nadal. She's built like the guy. Sometimes if you didn't have Sakari's head on her own shoulders and you swap Nadal's head and Sakari's head, I couldn't tell the bodies apart. But all I'm trying to say is that Sakari tends to hit off the back foot and then go way back here, when if she would just step into her shot, here it comes, I'm going to step into the shot, ah! With the squeal and whatever you want to give out, I don't care. You know I have a streak shoulder index and I don't always like the squeal. But if I could deal with the Sakari squeal. I could deal with the Sakari squeal if she would just hit through the ball. Hit, boom, put it away. Hit, boom, put it away. But if she hits it and it's like she wants to show off her biceps. It's like, here comes Sakari for a short ball. Here it comes.
But she doesn't have to. They pop out.
Yeah,
doing that.
Yeah, instead of Sakari coming and put the ball away like, boom, get back, done, what's up? Got you. She wants to come up and hit the ball and go, huh? But look at my bicep. So she could come up and put it away. Boom, done. Walk back, recover, get a towel, get the ball, whatever. But so instead of going ball, boom, put it away across the body, she has to run up to it and go, poof, off the back foot and, oh, look at the ball. Don't get it. Don't get it up. I'm out on that deal.
Wow.
Don't really follow it real well. If you really want to see some better version of He-Man tennis on the women's side, check out her cog. Because her cog, she's got guns.
Yes. All right, going on to the men. We have two tournaments going on. Estoril Open.
Portugal.
Open in Portugal. Stefanos Tsitsipas from Greece defeated David Goffin from Belgium 3-6, 6-4, 6-4. Tsitsipas is going for his third ATP title this year. Good for him. He's only 20 years old, and he is waiting. He's in the final waiting for the Alejandro Davidovich Fokina or Pablo Cuevas, and it looks like Pablo Cuevas is going to move on. They're on the third set. Pablo Cuevas is up 5-2. A little information about this 19-year-old player, Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. He was actually born in Spain. Even though his last name does not sound like it. His mother is Swedish, father is Russian. He beat Monfils, Chardy, Fritz, and had to qualify for this tournament.
It's a nice run.
Beating Evans and Francangelo from the USA. So, I mean, good run for him, even if he loses, and he was given a wild card to the Madrid Open.
That's a good run if you think about it. The players that she just names with the likes of Monfils. I know she mentioned Fritz, and everybody's like, oh, he's just another American player.
Yeah.
He is, but he can fight.
He's been winning some tournaments.
He comes to play. I think out of all the young American talent, and he's becoming a little bit more aged American talent. But Fritz is actually for a first round match. Fritz is a tough match to pull. Does he win a lot of them? No.
It wasn't a first round match. It was like a later on round. It just were a few players.
I mean, but this match here, Goffin, by the way, is a veteran player and is really good on clay. I think this speaks the world for the young Stefanos Tsitsipas because he has found a way to get his footprints on the clay. Yes. He hasn't won anything big on clay, but he just now has proved that he can.
He can play anywhere.
He can play. and he's young enough to do so. Let's see how this continues. And by the way, the lightning and thunder just picked up outside, so this is bonus points for this video.
Yes. The next one was the Munich Open, where we had Christian Garin from Chile defeat Marco Cecchinato pretty handily, 6-2, 6-4. Before he won this match, he's now in the finals.
That's a semifinal, right?
That was a semifinal, so he's in the final now. Before he won this match, he beat the top seed of this tournament, Alexander Zverev. Another match he lost. Another match. And now he loses his ranking of number 3. He goes down. Federer will now be the number 3 player in the world.
I don't want to venture off in the next gen, let's say this politely, bulljark. The next gen stuff to me has always been cheesy. It doesn't matter if you're 15 years old with the likes of the Capriatis and Tracy Austins or how many other players that crept into the thick of things at the 15s and 17s, the 16s, the Beckers, the Changs, and the list goes on. You don't need a next-gen connotation to sell tickets. Just sell your game. And at this point, Zverev, crept his way up to the number 3 spot, playing a lot of tournaments, but really hasn't showed a dynamic, aggressive game. He likes to duel it out from the baseline. He's always gotten to the net and been uncomfortable. And there's people that are stronger than him and can run faster than him and run longer than him at the baseline with the likes of the Nadals and the Djokovic and even the Rogers that can hold it down from back there longer than he can. And I think it started to catch up with him. I'm not shocked that he lost here. And again, if it wasn't for the next-gen setup, in my opinion, where they play the first of 4 in their sets at the end of the season, oh, you just beat Kyrgios. What was the score? 4-1.
Sounds like American junior tennis tournament.
4-1. Oh, how was the third set tiebreaker? 4-2, 4-1 in the third. What is that? Is that even real tennis? I think Wawrinka just wrote a letter to the tennis powers to be about how broken down the sport has become. We have gone from 3 out of 5 sets for hundreds of years, no tiebreakers at the majors. Within maybe 50 years, we've gone to a tiebreaker at the U.S. Open. I think that stopped a long time ago. But now it's like a domino effect. We've got the likes of Kevin Anderson, Nicholas Mahut, and John Isner because of their boring service games. Now we are stuck with tiebreaker dilemmas. And I mean, ultimately, where do we go next? And I think Wawrinka finally stepped to the plate and was like, I don't know. It seems like we have more focus now with Gimelstob beating people up, causing miscarriages, with Kermode being fired out for no reason and no one consulted us. I think there's more drama right now on the political aspect of tennis than there is drama in tennis altogether. So what is this? Is it negative energy we want to draw in to represent our game?
I have to agree with Wawrinka with almost everything he said. I'm actually glad that Gimelstob actually stepped down. He should not be into tennis anymore. So I'm glad that he said something. And he is right. Tennis is becoming... It's different now. It's all about politics instead of playing the sport. It's watering down the game, in my opinion.
Look, is there ever a time and place in the life in which we live? Look, I'm all about due process, but if you plead guilty to something, that means you did something, and then that's fine. But the character of one and the likes of Gimelstob to run down someone in the street, blindside him, beat him down to a pulp, and watch his wife have to deal with it, therefore resulting in a miscarriage. I don't want to talk about this. It's not me stating this. This was the charges, and I'm guilty of it. How is it that we are even fighting to try to let this stay in the game of tennis? 2 years ago, the thought of a tiebreaker in the 5th set or the discussion thereof at Wimbledon, preposterous. I'm glad the French Open stood up to this. I don't think the French Open I think French Open is the only one still at this point, check my math.
What about the U.S. Open?
The U.S. Open's always had a tiebreaker, at least since very early on. The U.S. Open was the only...
Right. I'm sorry.
So, but now we've got new next-gen stuff that's there because no one can just beat 3 guys that are basically old men now in the grand schemes of tennis, at least the 41 years that I've played it. I mean... It seems like society has become
weaker.
Not necessarily weaker, but I want my
weaker.
answers now. We had a student on the court the other day, Carla, got really frustrated because of a shot that they couldn't figure out after the 3rd lesson, like really frustrated. And the question was postulated: how many hours does it take to practice tennis? And I look at Carla and I'm looking to clarify this answer as not to run off a student. At the same point in time, Carla, I started at 2, you started at 11, but I think when we started, the amount of hours on court remained the same. Tens of thousands of balls a day, tens of thousands of balls times 7 per week.
There is no time for it.
You have to practice. 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 Hitting 500 balls in a day is better than hitting no balls in a day. Hitting 1 ball a day is better than hitting no balls a day. However, if you don't know how to hit the ball correctly and you're just hacking away at the ball or lollipopping it or swatting away at it or hitting and swinging open, then you're never going to get any better. By the way, the rain just started. Maybe that's just a sign I need to just chill so we can move on to our next episode.
Yes, yes. Well, tomorrow at the Munich Open, the next semifinals will play. Roberto Bautista Agut from Spain is facing Matteo Berrettini from Italy.
It's a good match.
And also Bautista Agut is playing Madrid Open, so he'll be pretty tired, is my guess.
And I have a little something written in about Bautista Agut. I think we had a viewer on the last show. I think it was Jeffrey Kaufman that was talking about we have to watch out for Bautista Agut. So I'm anxious to follow Bautista Agut in this tournament because of Jeffrey Kaufman. What's up? All right, so are we done with the 4?
Yes, we are.
All right, Carla, let's jump into the Madrid draws. Men's and women's. Our predictions on both the men's and women's sides. Interesting sections that develop because of our predictions. And more. And if you follow the show, Carl and I get going sometimes in left and right directions and somehow end up never on the path that we intended, but it's intended to be positive. Real quickly, if you look out the window, okay? Tropical weather. All right. I love the weather. All right, here we go. All right, so let's start with the Madrid draws. And I want to start this on a, not a list, but on a continuum of intriguing matches as the tournament begins. In other words, intriguing first round matches, potential upsets, and then how the sections break down as we move forward.
Well, we have qualifying rounds for the men today, and you have your qualifiers. That's done. The qualifiers are done. Do you want me to mention any that could be important on that one?
Yeah, mention the qualifiers.
Well, you got Peter Hughes Herbert, who beat Kudla. He's going to be a tough qualifier. Opelka went through against Misha Zverev. Robin Haase went through today against Tomic.
So the young Zverev's older brother,
yes,
Misha Zverev,
lost.
He lost, so he did not make the tournament.
Did not make the tournament.
I would like to see Misha Zverev get a lucky loser here because I think right now Misha Zverev is playing better than his younger brother, the number 3 player in the world, Sasha Zverev. Comment below.
You got Martin Cuisan that beat Golbis, so he's going into the draw, the main draw. Robin Haase, Manorino, Andriossi, Londre. You have also Ruud, Casper Ruud, who beat Paire pretty easily, 6-1, 6-2, or 6-1, 6-1. Ramos Vignolas went through. Copil defeated Jari. Jari did not make it.
Yeah, I didn't expect Jari, Nicolas Jari, the Chilean player. I did not expect him to go down in the qualies, but he did. Maybe he'll get a lucky loser in. We'll see.
Hurkacz beat Granollers, so he's through. Taylor Fritz beat a Spaniard, Kuhn. And Carballes Baena beat Humbert. So those are your people that qualify, your men's side that qualify for the main draw.
Men's draw. Intriguing stuff right off the bat. Djokovic could potentially, Djokovic is going to have a second round match. He's got a bye.
Right. Why is there bye in men? We were talking about this. The women's draw had no bye, but the guys do have bye. Does anyone know that answer?
Yeah. So if you weren't ready for the question, here's the question: the women's tournament here in Madrid has no byes. In other words, the entire 84-person draw is intact.
Yes.
On the men's side, we have byes. I think the points represent the same. I think women's premier represents the same type of points.
It's the same amount of points. I'm looking at it, yes.
So I wonder why it is we give a multitude of byes on the men's side, but we don't have them on the women's side. I think the women's tournament, because of this, will be more exciting, but we'll see what happens. So right at the beginning, we have Dimitrov that's going to play a qualifier. He should win that. If not, Dimitrov Hang it up. Agassi can't help you. Neither can anyone else. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. I think Evgeny Bouchard needs a swimsuit. See, here's the thing. Evgeny Bouchard is on so many swimsuit shoot photos right now. I can pick up the phone, like an old analog phone that plugs into my wall, and I can dial like, it can be a touch tone phone. Touch tone. Not smartphone, touch tone in the wall. And somehow I can put it up to my brain and say hello, and a hologram will come out. And it's a picture of Bouchard in a swimsuit, which she doesn't have really much of a butt anyway. She just does it. So why
Are you okay today?
I'm great. But why every time do I pick up anything? This wooden tennis racket. Ring. Hello? Wait a minute. This is a wooden tennis racket. It's not supposed to ring. But it's ringing. Hello, may I help you? No? Oh. Do I want to subscribe to Evgeny Bouchard's newest swimsuit shoot from the last 5 minutes because she just did one 10 minutes ago? Oh, okay. How much is it per month? $12.99? How about $0.99? Oh, you didn't understand that? Okay, wait a minute. I see her all day, every day, and I see her as a tennis player, and all I see is itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini, and she doesn't even look good in it. Why would I want to sign up for it? Oh, okay.
How did we go into Bouchard to Dimitrov? What are you trying to say about Dimitrov?
Because if Dimitrov does not do something here, he needs to help Bouchard out with her bikini sales.
Well, he can do his own.
Because she's starting to
he can do his own bikini.
Turn into just everybody else.
He can do his own swimsuit thing.
Okay, well...
He doesn't need Bouchard.
Okay, so look, how about this? Dimitrov, if you lose to Djokovic in the second round, which hopefully you win, not because Djokovic will continue on and keep fighting, but man, Dimitrov, bruh, if you don't do something here, all I'm trying to say is get some Speedos, cut the butt cheeks out, give you like a whole French thong look, and then, because Bouchard's getting burnt out, get your butt in there. I won't look at it, but I probably can get you a bigger fan base because she's so burnt out if you would just kind of burn in. We good?
Okay, so your point is that Djokovic and Dimitrov are going to play.
My point is Bouchard equals Dimitrov.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a mathematician and you see a GB that represents Evgeny, that would be she spells EUG, Evgeny. If you see an EB for Evgeny Bouchard, and you could put an equal sign, boom, like EMC or equals MC squared, like Albert Einstein, right? Right? You put EB, Evgeny Bouchard, equal sign, GD, Grigor Dimitrov.
Okay, so do we think Djokovic and Dimitrov, who do you think is going to win on that match?
Djokovic, obviously.
Yeah, I have one.
Gee, that shouldn't even be up for question.
Okay.
But it's intriguing though, right?
Sure, it could. I mean, anything can happen, but I don't think Djokovic is going to let Dimitrov beat him. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, if so.
Unless he's still dealing with personal issues.
Well, Djokovic, if you lose to Dimitrov, you and Gimelstob need to go hang out at the local sports bar.
Okay, so what's the next match?
Just saying.
So what's the next potential match you see?
The next potential match I see that ramps up is Schwartzman versus Cecchinato. Now look, I'm not a fan of either player, honestly.
They played each other in a few tournaments ago, and Cecchinato won handily. So.
Yeah, I mean, Cecchinato has a nice one-hander. He's got a good game. I'm really leaning towards Cecchinato here, but to put these two players up against one another right off the starting block, and the first round of Madrid, I think, seems odd.
There's a lot of first-time players. There's a lot of matches that they shouldn't have put together. Also, you forgot to mention that Jo-Wilfried Tsonga withdrew from the Madrid Open, which is right in between them. So that opens up the draw for somebody there, too.
I think Chardy was in.
Chardy's right there. And then he was supposed to play... Tsonga.
And Tsonga removed.
Yes, correct.
All right, so
I don't know who they're going to put there.
Tsonga, yeah, no, okay, so, sorry, snafu here. Djokovic had a bye. Dimitrov was going to play a qualifier. Chardy was going to play Tsonga, just like I said.
Yes.
Schwartzman has to play Cecchinato, right?
Correct.
So I was right.
I just said, yeah, he withdrew, so they're going to put somebody in there.
All right. Chardy is tricky, and so is Cecchinato, but I think Cecchinato moves to face Djokovic, and at this point, based upon the stuff that we discussed with Novak Djokovic and the political stuff and what's going on there and the mental drain, I wouldn't be shocked if Cecchinato beat Djokovic in this tournament.
Well, Cecchinato beat him last year, but I think that Djokovic has that in the back of his mind, and I don't think he's going to allow Cecchinato to beat him. I don't think so. I have Djokovic going through.
All right, moving forward. Again, Diego Schwartzman versus Cecchinato. Again, I'm not a big fan of either player, but these surfaces, things can be a little different.
Agree.
So watch out for the winner of that match, or just watch either of them play, because I would be shocked in the French Open or Roland Garros if Schwartzman and Cecchinato met one another before the third round. They're not going to meet him in the third round.
This is a smaller draw. The next match that we have, I think that you marked down, was Nick Kyrgios and Jan-Lennard Struff, that you thought could be an interesting match.
Yeah, I think Struff beats Kyrgios.
I think so too.
This is an interesting match. Again, Kyrgios should win. Let's be real with that.
He's not really a clay. He doesn't like the clay at all. Hasn't played any. This is his first tournament.
Yeah, and Struff has been on this surface since the day one that we started scratching this surface.
Yes.
I think Struff beats Kyrgios, and if not, I mean, I wouldn't bet my house on it, nor would I put any type of wager with Schwartzman versus Cecchinato. And honestly, I wouldn't put a dime in between Dimitrov and Djokovic. I think they're all that even, which I think it makes it that interesting. Honestly, I think Dimitrov has a good shot at beating Djokovic at this tournament, honestly. But back to Kyrgios, Struff again, it shouldn't be the favorite. Vegas odds on.
But he's much better.
But he should win.
Yes.
He's not the favorite, but he should win.
I have another match I don't think you marked on. I have Dusan Lajovic, the two Serbians, and Laszlo Djere that they put together. I was a bit shocked by that they put the two Serbians against each other when they both had a great play season. Usually salute. I was surprised by that. I picked Djere to move on. Honestly, I was torn between those two. But I picked Djere to face off Juan Martín Potro, who will be back his first tournament since his kneecap injury or surgery.
When Carla and I do these predictive shows where we do our predictive draw, like we did, and then we just fill out the ones that we go as the tournament progresses so we can see how good or bad we're doing. We don't talk to each other before these shows, but we were on the same brainwave here. My notes were, and we'll move forward, Laszlo Djere, intriguing match versus Dusan Lajovic, both Serbian players. Here were my notes, and we're going to move forward. The Serbians are getting the same treatment as the Americans do. They pair the Americans up, get one of them out of there, so that way the same style of tennis is kind of alleviated and the draw gets more interesting. Kind of put the countrymen up against the countrymen so we can make the draws more diverse. Both these players, Laszlo Djere and Dusan Lajovic, are both top-notch players. I think it's a shame that they meet in the first round.
I do too.
It's a toss-up here. I'm going to go with Djere simply because Djere did own Felix Auger-Aliassime in the early clay season. And won, and I think
in Brazil.
And that means a lot. It really does mean a lot. Felix Auger-Aliassime's a good player.
Now, do you think that Djere has a good chance against Potro, being that this is not Potro's best surface?
Yes,
big guy, just came back from surgery, might not want to put 100%?
I definitely do. I think Laszlo Djere, if he were faced off against Del Potro, I don't even see...
It would be different if it was hard courts.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think Djere beats Del Potro in the second round. I do, and if Del Potro wins, to be expected. But I think Laszlo Djere beats Del Potro in the second round and actually beats Struff in the third round and moves in to a quarterfinal against Cecchinato or Djokovic.
Okay. Another interesting match, several right here that I had, was David Goffin from Belgium, Martin Fucsovics facing off each other. I thought, wow, that's a pretty tough round, too, to face each other, in the first round.
I'm going to give the edge to David Goffin over Fucsovics. Again, Fucsovics, the Hungarian player, I think will get some bad karma for not playing his Hungarian Open in his own native country. So I'm going to give the edge only because of negative karma and, yes, a much more veteran of a player and that of the Belgium gentleman himself, and that is David Goffin.
Well,
I think Goffin passes Fucsovic.
I'm going to go with
easily.
Fucsovic, obviously.
Because you like the way he looks. Looks don't
I
matter.
love the way he plays. He looks like a man out there.
Goffin will beat Fucsovic. We'll beat him. I'll bet on that one.
Okay, well, I have him meeting Monfils. Another good match to watch would be Gaël Monfils against Andres Seppi. Two veterans playing against each other. That'd be an interesting match, even though Seppi has lost quite a few matches these past few weeks.
Interesting match, though, I guess in thought, but I don't have either. Monfils just lost to someone we've never heard of, by the way,
Davidovich, yes.
Davidovich, and that's fine, and we'll hear more about him, I'm sure. But Monfils, again, with his Svitolina relationship deal, they seem to be too much worried on Instagram posts and looking cute, and I think Svitolina and Monfils, it's kind of like they were approaching one another.
Well, you said time, so you're wasting time on a relationship.
Monfils and Svitolina, they began their courtship, and both their games went up. Boom, 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 boom. Now they're trying to... But then the courtship got kind of like, okay, now we're like a...
Well, it's called the honeymoon stage.
Now we're like
they're over the
now
honeymoon
we're like
stage.
a married couple, and now we realize that the careers are now went from... Okay, it's kind of like this. Hey, Ojo, I can't wait to meet you. What's up? Let's go out on a date. Oh, let's go out to dinner. Okay, let's get married. Come on, let's go.
So what are you saying?
Let's have kids. Let's have kids. But then all of a sudden, it's just...
So what are you saying? That after you get to know each other, in the beginning everything's great, and then it's not?
Well, here's the thing. The thing is all I'm saying
How
is...
does this make sense?
Good things like that aren't for everyone. Yeah, I mean, you're with me. We got this.
I'm not talking about us, but I mean, how can you even say that? That's not a good metaphor, analogy, whatever you want.
No. There's an old saying: novelty wears off. So look, you had a subpar Monfils, you had a subpar Svitolina. They start getting together, right? Okay, the trajectory comes up into the standard bell-shaped curve. Okay, now here comes the Roger Federer head-in Instagram photo on a private jet in Dubai. Ooh, now you're spiky. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, man, this is the best thing ever. We're so happy we're going to win all these major tournaments together. And then more pictures. And more pictures. And now the pictures get old. And oh, no, we took so much time away from our training and our fitness, getting wrapped up in the positive energy of what really was never, but now we realize was a never. And it is back to square one, and here we are.
I think something's wrong with you today. Anyways, next match I have is, I don't think you have it marked down, I have Karen Khachanov against Jamul Munar. I think this is an interesting match. I'm actually giving this to the Spaniard.
I'm giving it to Munar too. I got Khachanov Munar right there. Boom! Look at it. Khachanov Munar. I got Munar.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for Munar to move pretty far deep into this tournament.
Next match I had was David Ferrer against Bautista Agut, starting right off the bat. And again, I think it was Jeffrey Kaufman that indicated that, hey, Bautista Agut, how can you pick TM or Nadal?
Well, I'm not picking him to beat Ferrer today on this match, just because he's still waiting to play a semifinal tomorrow at Munich Open. I think he'll be too tired. I think Ferrer will take advantage of this. He's a little bit fresher. Last tournament? Is this his last tournament, I think?
This is David Ferrer.
And I think he's going to go all out. He's going to go all out on this one.
I have David Ferrer not only doing well in this tournament, I have David Ferrer making the semifinals against Nadal. Is it scripted? Is it written in like WWE wrestling?
I disagree.
It's possible.
I disagree with you.
I have David Ferrer. I have David Ferrer beating Tsitsipas in the fourth round.
I mean, he would have to go through Coric.
He will.
Coric. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I think it's better for ticket sales to sell tickets. I think sometimes it's better for commercials to be sold to sell commercials. I think there will be some script in here for Ferrer. Don't be shocked if Ferrer makes a lights-out final and plays Federer for his last tournament. I'm making that up, obviously. No. But don't be caught off guard if the likes of David Ferrer doesn't go really deep in this tournament, hence because it's his last.
All right, next match I have is Daniil Medvedev and Guido Pella. The only reason I marked down that match is because the winner of that plays Wawrinka, and I actually think that Medvedev could beat Pella, which would be a tough match, and face off Wawrinka. And that would be a rematch, because Wawrinka did lose to him in one of the first clay tournaments.
I follow with you, Carla, on this section of the draw. I have, of course, Nishikori's on a bye. I have Nishikori going to meet Wawrinka in the third round. I have Wawrinka winning that match. I have Wawrinka facing off against Nadal. And I have Nadal winning that match, facing up a semifinal match, and ultimately David Ferrer's last match on the men's ATP Tour. Much love to you, David Ferrer, but I do not think you'll get past Rafael Nadal. But who knows? The authors and the writers of this script for this tournament, being your last after all these years, they may be much better writers than us.
Interesting match to watch. Two young guys, Felix Auger-Aliassime and Shapovalov, playing each other in the first round. Who is your finals?
My finals for the men's side, and yes, that is another intriguing matchup. A potential second round between Nadal and Shapovalov. That's a great second round match upcoming. All conspiracy theories aside, Ferrer, I still think will be scripted.
So who's your final?
My final is Roger Federer against Rafael Nadal, and I have Nadal winning.
Mine is TM against Nadal, Nadal winning.
All right, so moving forward quickly through this, we have 6 minutes. Women's draws, first round, Naomi Osaka starting out, the admitted non-great clay court player against Cibulkova. Who you got?
I got Osaka. I really didn't mark down
I
many.
guess.
I didn't mark many matches here really that were interesting to me. There were a few players that did play today.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about that since
No,
it already started?
Look. All I'm saying is I guess that Naomi Osaka will set down her video game controls and a rap star boyfriend and beat Cibulkova, I guess. But would I bet my house on it? I guess not. I would leave that whole section alone. Look out for right below her, and that is Lara Arruabarrena, the Spanish player. She's really good on clay. She's got a wild card. I think Arruabarrena,
she'll have a tough match.
She could beat her.
She'll have a tough match against her compatriot.
Sorribes Tormo?
Yeah,
I understand that. But one of those two girls right there could beat Osaka in the second round.
Well, we had a big upset today. Kuznetsov defeated Sabalenka.
That was big. I think, look, Sabalenka, as you know, I predicted, this was a prediction I came up with.
And I laughed at all of you.
I predicted that Sabalenka from Belarus would win a major before Naomi Osaka won another. I'm not saying that's off, but I think Sabalenka has had recent success on the doubles court, and I think she has maybe rethought her career path. If it wasn't for doubles, I would stay on that, and I still think, based upon Osaka's video game path, that I'll still stay on the Sabalenka path. At least at this point.
Okay.
All right? By the way, an intriguing first round matchup is, we spoke about Sakari, the Greek player that hits constantly off the back foot. She's playing the Spanish player Suarez Navarro, Carla, i.e. same name. And Suarez Navarro has a really beautiful one-handed backhand. I think that one of these two girls, Sakari or Suarez Navarro, will match up against Simona Halep in the third round. And because of the feistiness of both of these girls, I don't think that Halep is going to want to risk enough energy moving into Rome, the next tournament, and then into the French. I think you're going to see Halep ease the throttle back against one of these two girls, and I think Sakari or Suarez Navarro will end up meeting Halep and beating Halep in this tournament. I think it will be Suarez Navarro.
Okay, I disagree with you all the way.
Another interesting first round match. Vera Zvonareva coming in as a longtime veteran wild card, facing off against a struggling American, Danielle Collins. Is this a match that even matters?
Struggling? Why is she struggling?
She hasn't done anything this year since the Australian, right?
What are you
Danielle
talking?
Collins?
Danielle Collins has gotten to many deep.
What has she done this year on clay? This is clay.
This is her first clay tournament, just like many Americans that don't play any clay tournaments.
Anyway.
I disagree with you completely. By the way, we had Azarenka today, Victoria Azarenka, who beat Kasatkina. 7-5, 6-4. That was a good match for her.
Ostapenko, Helena Ostapenko. We've been riding Ostapenko really bad this year. She's had a really up and down past couple of years, really. I have, don't laugh at me now, laugh at me later. I have Ostapenko beating Naomi Osaka in the final of this tournament, and Ostapenko getting on track right before the French.
What?
Ostapenko wins this tournament.
First of all, I don't even have Osaka near the final, nor Ostapenko.
All right, so let's see how this transpires. So quotes of the day as we end this show. Here are the quotes. 3 quotes real quickly. Quote number 1. My doctor gave me 6 months to live, but when I couldn't pay my bill, he gave me 6 months more. and that came from Walter Matthau. Think about that. Kind of deep. I didn't have 6 months to live, but I couldn't pay my bill, and now I got 6 months more. That's deep. Number 2, the road to success is dotted with many tempting... Reiterate that. The road to success is dotted with many tempting parking spaces. Okay? I understand that. There's places that we pull off and stop, and we wish that we never would have pulled in the parking spot because things happen that we wish didn't happen. But let's first look at the definition of success. What is success? Is it money? Is it happiness? Is it smiles? Is it family? Let's define success before we start talking about parking spaces. We do quotes simply as to bring them up in a fun manner. Doesn't mean we agree with them or not. Again, my definition of success is happy family, a fit family, playing good tennis, smiling no matter how hard we struggle financially. So someone else may define that as financially. What is success? Quote number 3. Never trust people who smile consistently or constantly. Scratch that. Never trust people who smile constantly. They're either selling something or not very bright. That came from Laurel K. Hamilton. The previous quote about the road to success came from Will Rogers. Is this so? Can we not smile all the time and be positive or be good people? I think sometimes life's tough and sometimes we can't smile all the time. Thoughts on that? Click a like below, subscribe below. We got rushed at the end. Sorry for the fiasco, but nonetheless, we'll see you soon. As the lovely Carla always says,
Adios.
Adios.